Chelsea fans, welcome back to Talking Chelsea. Welcome back to your Chelsea news. David James speaks out about Robert Sanchez. Enzo Maresca finally admits that Marc Guiu is ready, talks about the team togetherness and drops some huge news regarding Liam Delap ahead of the Sunderland game. And Chelsea are interested in a €60 million centre-back. Now, of course, I'll be giving my own thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported, but more importantly, I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. We're on the road to 10k subscribers by the end of 2025. You can also use the hype button, which is a new YouTube feature which helps push this video out to a bigger audience. In a recent interview, David James spoke about the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, and this is what he had to say. Certain goalkeepers suit certain teams. I know there are a lot of people who look at Robert Sanchez and question his capabilities, but I think he is outstanding. I think one thing he's done this season more so than last season is contribute with his distribution. His long balls are similar to David Raya, have been exceptional, not only getting the team out of trouble, but actually starting attacking moves. And if you look at the Club World Cup, his distribution against PSG was ridiculous and caused all sorts of problems. So I just think that we've got a goalkeeper there who I think will be the foundation for Chelsea's challenge for the title. These are bold things to be saying about Robert Sanchez. However, I will caveat this because I have said many times on this channel since last year, my thoughts and opinions on Robert Sanchez has changed. And I even said I think it was last month or so, that I was done with Robert Sanchez after that Manchester United game. It was passion, it was emotion, it was frustration as a fan. I still stand by what I have been saying for months and months and months now. We have a pocket of Chelsea fans that regardless of how well Sanchez performs, they write him off. And I hear it. If you just don't like the player, you're never going to see eye to eye with the opinion that he's developing and getting better. I was on the fence that I just didn't like Robert Sanchez. I didn't think he was good enough to be Chelsea's number one long term. And I was like, we just need a new goalkeeper. And a lot of fans still think that we do need a new goalkeeper. One thing I like to try and do is take a step back and analyse and just be fair. Give credit where it's due and criticise where it's due. And I've criticised Robert Sanchez a lot on this channel. You can go back and watch. I've been brutal. A lot of fans have been. But I've also given flowers where they are due. When he's performed well, when he's had those games where there's been no mistakes, his distribution's been better than how abysmal it has been when it started and how it's got better. I will say that in the last sort of 4 or 5 months, there's been a select handful of mistakes or saves that he could have made, which is a lot better than this time last year, where it seemed like every game he was making an error leading to goal. This time last year, he had the most errors leading to goal in the top 5 European leagues. It was wild. Now, I do think he is a solid goalkeeper, and I feel like that's because the team are playing better. There's a lot more togetherness, there's a lot more gelling, more chemistry, and we'll speak about that a little bit later in the video. But I also feel like Robert Sanchez has developed. He has got better. There's less and less mistakes. He's not perfect. He still concedes goals. Of course he does. But we know he's a good shot stopper. His distribution when he goes long, I've always said, is fantastic. He could hit a 50p on the halfway line. When he goes long, it causes trouble. And now Maresca's being more tactically flexible and allowing Robert Sanchez to go long at times because we have different profiles like a Liam Delap, when he's up top, like a Marc Guiu, even at times a João Pedro, who his hold-up play isn't like his main profile of play, but he can do it to a decent standard. It gives Sanchez a lot more options. When we're looking to go out wide and we're looking to go long, he normally, 9 times out of 10, finds his target. And again, the PSG game is like a catalyst in terms of how good it really can be if everything goes right. That game, he turned into prime Neuer. And the whole thing, and my argument is he needs to do that more consistently. Now, can you have that peak of performance all the time? Of course not. But I do think that he has improved massively, and it is about time that we just accept he is our number one, and he's actually a pretty decent goalkeeper. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's the best in the league. I'm not saying that. Nowhere near it, in my opinion. Nowhere near it. You've got Alisson, best in the world. You've got David Raya, incredible goalkeeper. Maybe a couple others you'd put in there as well. But I do think Sanchez is up there in terms of the better half of the Premier League for sure. We know he's a good shot stopper. His long form distribution is amazing. It's more his short distribution and decision making is the big thing that people just go, oh my God, don't do anything stupid. Because when he's cool, calm and collected and doesn't make those silly decisions, he's actually really good. And you find that there's been games this season where you've not really heard his name, and when he's being called upon, he's making those snap decisions and he's making those saves that are keeping us in the game. Do I think he's perfect? No, he's far from it. Do I think he's a good goalkeeper? I actually do now. I think he is a good goalkeeper. Would I like the likes of Mike Maignan to come in? Of course I would. I'm not an idiot. But at the same time, Chelsea are not going to go pursue that move, and I've come to terms with that. I think a lot of fans have to. We're not going to go out and buy a new keeper. And it seems strange because the board, and I've said this many times, when things go well, it looks like they're geniuses. When it goes wrong, they look like idiots. And for the last, sort of 18 months, they've looked like idiots when it comes to Robert Sanchez, because they keep saying they're backing him and backing him and backing him, and we're going, why? But now I feel like he's at a position where you go, it kind of makes sense, He's not perfect. He is a good keeper, great shot stopping, and his distribution can improve short term, but is amazing long. So when you mix that with Enzo Maresca's tactical flexibility, it makes a lot of sense. So I do understand what David James is saying, and obviously he is a pro keeper, played at the top level for a long, long time. He's obviously looking at things that we as armchair fans are not seeing as much, right? But like I said, you've got to give credit where it's due. You criticise where it's due, and I feel that Robert Sanchez does get a lot of unfair hatred even today. Like, there's been a couple of games recently where we might have conceded, or I feel like he's had a good game. People are like, yeah, Sanchez is awful, should have done better. And I'm like, that's just wild. When you actually watch how the goal was conceded, he would have no chance. Makes some fantastic saves most games now and keeps us in it. He's not conceded nowhere near as much. And that's also testament to the back line becoming more shored up, more stable, not conceding as many chances. So when we do concede a chance, Sanchez is there in a better position. But yeah, I think that Sanchez has improved. I feel like we should get off his back a lot as a fan base. The people that still want him out, I mean, you're never going to convince them. But I just think it's fair to say that he has improved. I don't think he's the best in the league, though. That's just a bit too far of a stretch. And I know that David James isn't specifically saying that, but he is saying he's the foundation for Chelsea to challenge for a title. That I'm still on the fence with. I don't know if he is the keeper that takes us to a title, but I will be happily proved wrong if he is. So I like where Sanchez is at right now. If he can continue to improve, then we do have a world-class keeper. But there's still a long time for me to concede that he is a world-class keeper. But right now, I think he is a good keeper. But I'd like to know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding Robert Sanchez. Are you still Sanchez out camp? Have you accepted the fact that he has improved? Are you back in Sanchez? Do you think he's a world-class keeper? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Bobby Vincent has reported what Enzo Maresca said on Enzo Fernandez giving Estevao the penalty. He said, "It's very, very good. I told the players after the game that for sure we are happy about winning, but the main thing about that game was Enzo giving the ball to Estevao. It shows how the team are at the moment and how they are all together." ESPN Brazil had reported what Estevao said about this moment, and he says, "Enzo is a sensational guy. He gave me the opportunity to take the penalty. I didn't expect this because he had scored the first goal. This reflects a lot our group. Very united, very hard working. One helps the other." This goes hand in hand, and I totally agree with Enzo Maresca. I literally mentioned this in yesterday's video after the game. I thought one of the standout moments for me was when Enzo Fernandez gave that penalty to Estevao, because I think it was the symbolism behind it. It was showcasing the united team, the togetherness, the chemistry, just the way that we played in that fixture. The atmosphere was electric. Everyone was on top form. We were playing such good football. A few of you guys have said in the comments, obviously, Ajax were down to 10 men for 75 minutes, so it makes the game easier. Yeah, granted, obviously it's going to make things easier. But even when they had 11 men, we were peppering Ajax. We were decimating them. And they might not be a great team, cool. But it's in the Champions League. It's in the Champions League. It's the highest of competition. So there's no excuses for me, unfortunately. Like, we just played fantastically well, and you have to concede that. And one of those things was the togetherness. This moment was the thing that I pulled out after our scoring 5 goals, because understand the importance of it. He's given Estevao the opportunity to score his first Champions League goal. He could have quite easily taken it because he was obviously the penalty taker on the pitch, number 1 on the list. And it's just a great moment. And I like that Enzo Maresca has highlighted that to the players. It was an amazing result, but that moment is what we're about. That is the togetherness. That is the unity that we have been working on. The foundations that we set last season are now being worked on even more this season. And now we're starting to see sort of like the fruits of our labour in that sense. So if this can continue, with the morale, the confidence, and the momentum, we are going to go on an incredible run of games and be in an incredible run of form for the foreseeable future. And I feel like it's going to take a lot to stop us. In our next sort of 4 or 5 games, maybe up until the Barcelona game, I feel extremely confident that we can win every single one. I really, really do. Based on, like I said, the confidence, the way that we're working, way that we're playing right now, the togetherness. I don't see a team stopping us. Barcelona, in my opinion, is the next game where I think, right, that is the next staple or statement performance. That if we go out and get a result, mate, sky's the limit this season. And I really, really think that we're doing this and getting the results with all the injuries we have, suspensions that we have. We're going to talk about Liam Delap in just a second and Marc Guiu, because there's some, big updates regarding that. But when you think about who we are missing through suspension and injury, it makes this run of performances and the way that we're playing a lot more impressive, at least in my opinion. But I'd like to know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding what Enzo Maresca said about this moment and what estevao said about this moment of the Ajax game. Do you think it's a big deal? Do you think it is a big sign of symbolism? Do you think it's not that deep? Do you feel like we are very unified right now and we have confidence and momentum? Or do you feel like it was just a lucky performance where we played well, but it's being blown well out of proportion? Very curious to know your thoughts. Bobby Vincent reported what Enzo Maresca said on getting tough with Marc Guiu. He said, "We have a chat with Marc 2 weeks ago. I told him that I didn't like the way he was training and he needed to change. He changed." He goes on to talk about Marc Guiu's development. He says, "Marc is a typical number 9. He is physically strong, a box player. Again, he can improve and do many things better. We are working with him every game to try and help him. In terms of João Pedro, we know that he could play as a 9 or a 10. He's very good in both positions." He then clarifies whether Marc Guiu is ready to start, and he says, "Absolutely yes." He then adds that Marc Guiu was not training well in all the ways. Since that chat, he's been fantastic. It's good. This is the news that I've been waiting for. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been as well. Marc Guiu, some fans have said that we need to stop glazing him. He's still young. He's raw. He needs to develop. Mate, this guy's a talent, and he's starting to showcase that. His confidence is up. He's clearly training better. Maresca now just can trust him. He's giving him minutes, and now he's said that he's absolutely ready to start. And what a game to start than the team that you were on loan at the start of the season for a very short period. This is going to be a huge test for Marc Guiu because Sunderland are playing very well. They're a newly promoted side. I think they're on the same points as us, there or thereabouts. They are proving that they are deserving to stay up as of right now if they can continue their run of form. This is going to be a huge game for the likes of Marc Guiu to start, to score, to get involved, contribute to the team, and just be a bulldog like he is. I absolutely love Marc Guiu. The fact that we signed him for such a small amount of money is like the cherry on top in terms of the financial side because we've got an absolute bargain, daylight robbery off of Barcelona because the talent of this guy is exceptional. The sky is the limit. It's simple as that. He's a very young player who's come from Barcelona's academy, and look, if we nurture him and we give him the opportunities, he's going to reward us with that. He's getting better. He's a bulldog in the press. His link-up play is fantastic because he is a number 9 naturally. His box presence is something I spoke about yesterday. His goal that he scored in the Champions League, he was the only one on the pitch with a footballing IQ to score that goal because he is a fox in the box. He is a number 9. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was offside for 90% of that passion of play, and then he was onside for the exact right moment to tap the ball in the net. It's just that this is what you're going to get with an actual number 9. Is he going to go get 40 goals a season? Of course not. I'm not expecting that of him. But I do think he could break double figures throughout the season, especially with rotation with Delap when he comes back, João Pedro when he plays as a 9. I feel like there are at least 10 goals in this season for Marc Guiu. Maybe more. Who knows? You never know. He might go get a hat-trick tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. You never know. He might go into the season and only score 8. But I feel like this is the breakout season for Marc Guiu. He's been given the opportunity to get more minutes in the Chelsea first team, which is where he wants to be long-term. The board have said that that's where they want him long-term. He has a future at Chelsea. I'm hoping that we keep him. I'm hoping that he takes these opportunities with both hands. He's obviously hungry and wants to play. Enzo had a chat with him saying he wasn't happy with the way he's training. He's adjusted that. Boom. He's coming on. He's getting minutes. He's scoring goals. And now he's absolutely, in a position to start games and keep doing what he's doing. So I am so happy with this news from Enzo Maresca because he's basically given him the nod. He's got the stamp of approval. He can start games. He's doing everything that I'm expecting of him. And since we had that chat, he's changed everything. So he can't fault him in any way, shape or form. And I absolutely rate that from Marc Guiu in terms of a mentality thing. He was obviously doing things where Enzo didn't agree with it, and Guiu's, rather than getting in a strop about it and being like, no, I'm training hard, he's like, okay, cool, no worries, boss. Tell me what you want me to do, and I'll go do that to the best of my ability. Now he's reaping the rewards. So this is a very, very exciting time to be a Chelsea fan, especially going into this run of games. I feel like Marc Guiu can bag some goals. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding the news that Enzo Maresca has put his stamp of approval on Marc Guiu, saying he's absolutely ready to start games. Do you think it's about time? Would you have started him earlier? Does it now make sense why he wasn't getting so many minutes at the start of the season because Enzo thought he wasn't training right? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below on Marc Guiu. Bobby Vincent then reported what Enzo Maresca said about Liam Delap, and he can be available for the Wolves Cup tie. He continues to say that we don't have any new injuries, which is good in itself. Liam took part of the session yesterday with the team for the first time. He's not going to be available for tomorrow, but probably for the next one. This is huge news. This is huge news. This is one of the advantages of having younger players. They recover quicker. If they stick to their recovery journey, and obviously their body adapts to it, because there can always be complications. But on paper, younger players are going to repair a little bit easier, and hopefully he doesn't get any more injuries and we can finally get a run of games of Liam Delap as that number 9. I'm so excited to see what he can do in an Enzo Maresca system now that Enzo Maresca has tweaked his formations and he's more tactically flexible, especially against different opposition. He's being more ruthless with his substitutions. Now, this is off the back of the last segment where we say that Marc Guiu's got the stamp of approval to start games. This is going to be very, very interesting because these two are going to be competing with each other. And it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. Will it be Liam Delap automatically goes in and Marc Guiu gets pushed to the side again? I personally don't think so. If Enzo Maresca comes out and says he's absolutely right and ready to start, then it's going to be a case of, obviously we know Enzo likes to rotate anyway, and he's going to ease Liam Delap in. He's not just going to chuck him in for a full 90. I'll be very, very surprised if he does that on the cup tie against Wolves. He might get 15, 20 minutes. He might get half an hour. He might even get the second half if we're lucky to see Delap. But I'm super excited to see Delap back because of his profile. I really, really am. This is massive, massive news. He wasn't meant to come back until next couple of weeks. He's a couple of weeks ahead of schedule. That's insane. What a recovery time for Liam Delap. I feel happy for him as well. He's just signed to the club. He was going to get a nice run through the Premier League. Pulls a hammy. It's just not ideal, is it? And we've played some opposition where I think that he would have been the best option and the best profile to play against those teams. We've not had him. Plus, we've had the red cards and other injuries too. So there's two really, really good bits of information there. And that's Enzo said we have no new injuries, which is amazing. And then also Liam Delap is back earlier than expected and can be playing against Wolves in midweek, which is unreal news. I'm so, so excited. I feel like Liam Delap can still go on and get 15 goals this season with the amount of chances we create, the profile he is, type of player he is. He's just a finisher. He's right place, right time, create a goal out of nothing, like a half chance. Fox in the box. Can also bang a ball from outside the box as well. Relatively good in the air, which is a great thing that we've severely lacked, let's be real, with the amount of crosses that we put in. We've got a bit better this season, but could definitely improve. So this is really, really good news. We've got Guiu fighting for the position and ready to play. You've got Liam Delap back, who's going to be squeezed in or rotated into this squad. So we've got two number 9s competing for that spot, which takes the pressure off of João Pedro also because he can play as a 9, but we know that he plays better as a 10. So this is going to be very exciting around Christmas time to be a Chelsea fan with all that, just that striking position of what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Who's going to come out on top as the go-to number 9 for Chelsea? You could say that Liam Delap wins that battle instantly. My English today. But you never know. Marc Guiu could be keeping Delap on the bench because he comes out and performs well. And if it's based on merit of performance, it's going to be very interesting. So I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions down below regarding Liam Delap returning weeks earlier than expected and could potentially be ready and playing for the Wolves Cup tie. Are you happy and excited to have him back? How many goals do you think Delap can still score this season in an Enzo Maresca system? And will Marc Guiu keep him out of the team for a long period of time? Bild have reported that Chelsea, Liverpool, Inter Milan and Real Madrid are interested in a €60 million rated Bayern Munich defender upamecano, whose contract runs out next summer, and the German club have not been able to agree on an extension yet. This is huge if Chelsea are actually, in fact, looking for a centre-back upgrade in the summer. I would take upamecano in a heartbeat. I'd snap your arm off. If he was available last season, summer window, whatever, we should have gone and get him. Simple as that. €60 million for upamecano is a bargain, in my opinion, especially in today's sort of transfer market rates and what players are going for, all these inflated prices. That would be an absolute bargain. And the fact that Liverpool, Inter Milan and Real Madrid are also interested shows that he's a highly rated defender in terms of the club level looking down in terms of improving squads. He would be unreal. One thing I will say is we've had a lot of, do we get a centre-back? Don't we get a centre-back? Do we get a centre-back? Don't we get a centre-back in recent weeks? And Chelsea made it very clear that January, they're not going in for a centre-back. They trust in the squad. And we're now starting to see that when the squad is performing well, the likes of Ashimpong, the likes of Hato coming in, playing to an exceptional level. Chalobah, Tosin's been a bit shaky in my opinion this season, but last season he was very, very consistent for us. The only way I could see that we go in the summer is if we offload someone like Tosin. Because we did get him on a free, we could flip him for profit, and then we could use that for someone like upamecano. But I'm not writing off Tosin and trying to get rid of him and whatever. It's just a theory. It's my first thought that hit my head when it comes to this of if we are to bring someone in, someone has to go. Do we offload Badiashile? Do we offload Tosin? Do we bring in upamecano? Do we do in my opinion, an unrealistic bid and go get Bastoni? Is there Schlotterbeck? All these other centre-backs that we have been linked with? Or do Chelsea keep the squad exactly how it is? Put trust and faith in Badiashile. Trust and faith in Tosin for the foreseeable. Because Tosin is one of the oldest players in the squad, which is wild because he's like 27, 28. Which isn't old at all, really. He's coming into the prime of his footballing abilities. on paper, in theory, right? Now, like I said, this season he has been a little bit shaky in my opinion, making silly mistakes, silly challenges. He's been at the heart of all the mistakes and how we've sort of like folded and conceded goals in and around those sort of like dramatic moments. He's been in and around the heart of it, whether it's been directly from him or indirectly from him. It is what it is. I still really rate Tosin. I really like Uncle Tosin. I do. I think he's so cool, calm and collected on the ball. Great in the air. He's that experienced leader that can kind of command that back line and just be in the ears of the other players in and around that back line. But I will admit, this season he has been a bit shaky. So, in my opinion, when I see something like this, if there's any truth to it, Bilt are usually pretty reliable in terms of getting their sources. A lot of clubs are going to be interested in Upamecano. He's a fantastic defender. And the fact that Bayern Munich haven't been able to agree an extension, they could also go and do that. They could just agree an extension tomorrow or as soon as I upload this video. You never really know. But if he is available, 60 million euros I think is a fantastic price for him. And that would kind of be around the ballpark I think Chelsea would be happy to pay for a player of his experience if he fits into the project, if he is young enough for them in their eyes. Because like I said, Tosin is one of the older heads of that back line. We have an extremely young average age. So I don't think they're completely numb to the fact that they don't need any experience, because they've shown that with Tosin being a good market opportunity on a free transfer, that we bring him in and he is a bit older. So it could be a like for like. It could be an opportunity to offload the likes of Badiashile. We could use it as an excuse that we offload Disasi and that's 1 for 1. Who knows? We know that Chelsea move mental when it comes to the transfer market, but I would be severely up for this. I think he's an absolute unit of a defender. Really good in the air, good with the ball at his feet. He's not really the one to sort of play out from defence, but he can just do his job to a very high standard. And if you added him into our back line, it levels up massively, in my opinion. And you could still give the likes of Josh Ashington as much game time as you want with Upamecano next to him. At least in my opinion. I would love to know your thoughts down below regarding this sort of transfer rumour or sources that have come out that Chelsea are interested in a 60 million euro rated Upamecano if Bayern Munich cannot agree an extension on his contract for the summer. Not for January, but for summer. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. And that's the latest Chelsea news. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything that's been reported down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you guys. And if you have watched this video all the way to the end, firstly, you're a real one. And I mean that, you're a real one. But secondly, there'll be a thumbnail appears on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail because you'll enjoy that video too.